All right, y'all. This is part 4, I believe, in exposing Christianity. And in this video, I want to talk about other, what do you call them? Saviors or whatever that Jesus was like. These are people that predated Jesus that, interestingly enough, the story of Jesus has quite a few similarities with these other people. The story of Jesus, people, the story of Jesus is borrowed and stolen a little bit here, a little bit there. There is nothing original about the story of Jesus. And this is what I believe, this is what caused me to leave the Christian religion. Like in my later years as a Christian, I was I was really suspicious. I'm like, something ain't right here. Something is not right. There's some bullshit in the mix. And it was slowly coming together. It was slowly coming together. And but this is one of the things that just blew my mind, and it really gave me, I guess you could say, the courage to leave that religion alone. Because see, the thing about Christianity is Christianity gains its members through fear. And that's how they keep their members, through fear, because they tell you that, there's a place, there's heaven and hell, basically. Excuse me. They tell you that heaven is a place where you go if you've accepted Jesus as your Lord and Savior, and if you have rejected Jesus as your Lord and Savior, then you will go to hell and you will burn for all eternity. Now, that's basically the story. Now, keep in mind, there's over 45,000 denominations of Christianity. So I'm sure there's some variances, amongst the different denominations. But that was the story that I had always been taught, like from a fucking child. It's like Santa Claus, right? Like, if you're a good boy or girl, then you're going to get presents. And if not, then you're not going to get anything, right? And so that was the story that I was always taught. And who wants to go to hell? It put fear in me. I was afraid. Shit, I want to burn forever, like forever. So this right here, when I became aware of this, that the story of Jesus was not original and it was not unique, the miracles, all the shit that I thought set Jesus apart from all of humanity, none of that shit was unique or original. When I found that out, that gave me the courage to leave. That, like, really, like, amongst other things, but there was other things like the exposing Christianity, like the entire series, right? The denominations is the last thing I learned about of everything in this series up to this point. But learning that that Jesus was not even his real name, that the letter J didn't even exist until like the 1500s, I think 1524. Well, if the letter J did not even exist when Jesus was on earth, then clearly that couldn't have been his name. So learning about, like, all these pieces as they come together, and then I just recently, about the Bible, like how, although like I do love the Bible, I'm not gonna say nothing negative about the Bible. It's a lot of great shit in there. It's bullshit in there too, though. But it's really helped me a lot. I ain't gonna get it, but I'm just saying, this is one of my more recent discoveries, is that it's been changed over 30,000 times. There's a video on that in this series. But this right here, really was one of the things that did it for me. So let's get into some of these other stories of people that predated Jesus that the story of Jesus comes from. Horus, number one, was born on December 25th. Now Jesus is said to be, I don't know, whatever. Said to be born. I mean, we celebrate, not we, because I don't celebrate Christmas, but those that celebrate Christmas, they celebrate on December 25th, believing that that's the day Jesus was born, which is bullshit. It's all a lie. Um, Horus, born of a virgin. Boom. That's one of them strong ones right there. Jesus being born of a virgin, that is the evidence, right? That Jesus was not just a man, but Jesus was also God. God in the flesh, right? Because he was born of a virgin, immaculate conception, right? He didn't come from a man like all of humanity does. All of humanity comes from the seed of a man. Jesus didn't, right? Or said to have didn't, right? If I said that right. And up until discovering these things I'm talking to y'all about, I thought that he was the only one that was born of a virgin. Well, Horus was too, or said to have been if Horus was real. Like I don't know if these people was real or not, but I'm just saying. Okay, and then there was the star in the east. That's not really a huge similarity there. Abandoned by three kings. Became a teacher at 12. He was baptized into the ministry at 30, and he had 12 disciples. The most significant similarity there is that he was born of a virgin. Number two, Addis, also said to be born of a virgin and born on December 25th and crucified, dead for 3 days, and resurrected. It's long before Jesus. Addis is 1200 years before Christ. Horus was this 3,000 years before Christ. Go to number three, if I can get there. Shit, man, this fucking dumbass computer. Okay, this dude, I don't even know how to say his name. Dionysus, I think is how you say that or whatever. But I've been reading a lot about this dude. Like, it's supposedly a lot of similarities between Jesus and this dude Dionysus, but born of a virgin, born on December 25th. Performed miracles. He was called the King of Kings, the Alpha and Omega. Died and was resurrected 500 years before Christ. Let's go number four. Krishna. I believe that's Hiro Krishna. Born of a virgin, star in the east, performed miracles, died, and was resurrected 900 years before Christ. Mithra, born of a virgin, born on December 25th. 12 disciples. He had 12 disciples just like Jesus, or Jesus had 12 disciples just like Mithra. Performed miracles. He was dead for 3 days and resurrected 1200 years before Christ. And I'm not even going to read that last one. So let's go here. This is a more thorough explanation or breakdown of the similarities between Horus, Mithras, and Jesus, the one they call Jesus. Born of a virgin I'm reading Horus. On December 25th, his birth was announced by a star in the east and was attended by three wise men, just like Jesus. He was a child teacher in the temple and was baptized when he was 30, blah, 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 by Anup the baptizer. Jesus was baptized by John the Baptist. Jesus is also said to have went into the ministry at 30 years old and began teaching at a young age. I believe 12 years old. I'm not sure about that one. Horus also, or not also, because Horus was before Jesus, but Horus had 12 disciples. He performed miracles. He walked on water and transfigured on the mountain. Jesus transfigured. He was transfigured on the mountain, right? Horus was crucified, buried in a tomb, and resurrected. Horus was called the way, the truth, and the light, the Messiah, God's anointed son, the Son of Man, the Good Shepherd, the Lamb of God, the Word. His or he was the fisher and was associated with the lamb, lion, and fish. So those are some huge similarities that Jesus shares with Horus. Huge. Mithras, also born of a virgin on December 25th. He was considered a great traveling teacher and master. He had 12 disciples also, like Horus, and performed miracles. He was buried in a tomb also. After 3 days, he rose again also. His resurrection was celebrated every year during his principal festival held on what would become Easter. How interesting. He was called the Good Shepherd, the way, the truth, and the light, the Redeemer, the Savior, and the Messiah. He was identified with both the lion and the lamb. His sacred day was Sunday. The story of Jesus is stolen. It's just pieces here, pieces there. I mean, honestly, the story of Jesus seems like identical to the story of Horus and Mithras. There's nothing original or unique about the story of Jesus. Now, there's a book called The 16 Crucified Saviors. And check that out if you're interested in that. Um, this is off of Wikipedia, and here is a list of these saviors right here. I'm not gonna read them all. I'll read some of them. Thoughts of Egypt, and they're all before Christ. Krishna, I read about that. Him. A lot of these names I can't pronounce. I ain't even gonna try. Them, blah 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 Buddha, blah 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 blah. You can read them if you want. But that's a list of the 16 saviors, all pre-Christ. I haven't looked up in I'm at a point I don't need to know anything about any of them. But I just found it interesting that there were 16, right? And this is a list of holy figures who died. Well, I'm not going to say died because it doesn't say that, but who at some point ascended into heaven. Doesn't necessarily have to be that they died first because Elijah, I believe in the Bible. I don't know, there was Elijah and Elisha, I believe, or Enoch. I believe Enoch, I don't know, shit. Probably both of them. I believe Enoch ascended into heaven while he was still alive. And one of the Elijahs, Elijah or Elisha, one of them, I believe, ascended into heaven. I don't know. But there's stories in the Bible of People that ascended in heaven, of course, Jesus, after the death, burial, the resurrection, ascended into heaven. And here's a list of others. And the list was so long. This isn't even the whole list. I couldn't get a screenshot of the whole list. But this is a list of other people who were said to have ascended into heaven. And Osiris is on there, and a lot of names that I don't know how to pronounce. And so there you have it. The story of Jesus, or the story. It's just really, what do you think? What are your thoughts on that? Did you think the story of Jesus was unique? Did you realize that there were many others before, hundreds, even thousands of years before Jesus, that did the things that Jesus is said to have done? Like, what do you do with that? Like, when you realize that the story of Jesus is not unique at all, but that it's just borrowed, stolen from other figures long before he is said to have existed, if he existed at all. I'm not saying he did. I'm not saying he didn't. I don't know. I wasn't there. And I'm not going to believe. Either I know or I don't know. And that's it. And so, yeah, what are your thoughts on this?